transformationtalkradio.com, where purpose, mindfulness, and passion converge to redefine what it means to lead in today's world. Each episode is your gateway to transformation. The world needs better leaders. Become one. Your leadership journey starts here. Visit singpowerupcoach.com. Don't just lead, transform, join the global.
Ready for healing that's raw, real, and actually helpful? Hi, I'm Faye, host of Soul Unfiltered, the podcast that ditches the spiritual woo-woo and dives deep into grief, energy, intuition, healing, and emotional truth. Join me for sacred storytelling, practical healing tools, and soul-level insight. Subscribe now and tune in to Transformation Talk Radio every fourth Wednesday of each month at 11 a.m. Pacific Time, and start your healing journey at fayinspiredhealing.com.
Hi, I'm Gwenem Carsley, transformational body, sex, and soul coach. Skin and Soul is not for the tame. It's for the parts of you that ache in silence, that pulse in the dark. It's where truth slips beneath the skin, where longing, death, and desire kiss. Strip down, breathe deeper. Remember what it means to be alive. Join me Fridays at Skin and Soul, 10 a.m. PST on Transformation Talk Radio.
Tune in to the Flourish Frequency Show with me, Beth Larson, every third Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific Time on Transformation Talk Radio. Get ready to activate and amplify the frequencies of success, happiness, and abundance so you can live a life of more joy, more energy, more passion, more money, and more meaning. For more information, visit BethLarsonCoaching.com.
Are you ready to break free from blocks and trauma and step into true healing? Michelle Sinclair is a divine healer and spiritual teacher, guiding others through subconscious soul healing and the power of universal love. Her teachings, inspired by the Christ letters, reveal the vibrational impact of our thoughts, words, and actions, unlocking the key to transformation. Discover the divine laws of faith, cause and effect, and how they shape your reality. Begin your journey today at therealhealinginstitute.com. Hey there, Lightworker. Have you ever wondered if there's something blocking your full access to your spiritual abilities? After working with many clients like you over the past 10 years, one thing I've seen again and again is that
there are shows with psychics.
And there are shows with doctors.
But there's no show like The Psychic and the Doc.
Your practical paranormal power unleashed.
This show synthesizes the talents of world-class medium Mark Anthony, the psychic lawyer, psychic explorer,
and street smart spiritualist, behavioral psychologist, Dr. Pat Baccili. All subjects are on the table and no topic is taboo. Inspiration, insight,
action, and fun as Mark Anthony connects callers with loved ones in spirit,
in tandem with Dr. Pat's fresh, no-nonsense, street-smart, intuitive insights. And she is hilarious.
Extraordinary problems
require extraordinary solutions, which may come from this side
or the other side. This is The Psychic
and the Doc, and it starts now.
Hey everybody, welcome to The Psychic and the Doc. We apologize for being a bit late tonight. That's what you get when you're going to do a show talking about the year of the fire horse. And we'll get into that in a minute. We want to welcome you. I am here with the most incredible Mark Anthony, JD, psychic explorer, lawyer, and so much more. For those of you out there, we are going to chit chat for a minute about the year of the fire horse. We are a couple of days into it, and I'm sure you have your own stories. But it has come to mean something very special in the Chinese zodiac. But for so many people, Mark, I've never seen, nobody paid any attention to the wood snake, which was last year. But I think people are just all of a sudden all over the fire horse. What do you think? And welcome, my buddy, to the show.
Well, thank you, Dr. Pat. Well, people are freaked out by snakes, so when they hear about the wood snake, it's like, ugh, the last thing you want to do when you go out to get some firewood or something or clean, or you find a snake under there. but a fire horse, I mean, the imagery alone is dynamic. You
Oh,
know, picture this blaze of fire and horses. I mean, you just think about how they've been portrayed through history, and even that, the Pegasus, the flying horse, unicorns, war horses, race horses. So horses have been part of culture, humanity for since the inception of humanity. And the year of the fire horse, it's a 60-year
yeah.
cycle occurrence associated with intense energy, passion, and rapid change. Now, this week we've seen some pretty rapid changes. We lost the iconic, legendary actor Robert Duvall. I
Oh
mean,
my gosh, I
God,
know.
an actor's actor, everything from The Godfather to Apocalypse Now, The Great Santini, I mean, everything. And then, of course, civil rights legend and icon Jesse Jackson, who was right there with Dr. Martin Luther King, even on the day he was
Yeah.
assassinated. And on a sad and pathetic note, the aristocrat formerly known as Prince was arrested today on his 66th birthday. Andrew Windsor Mountbatten, for breaching a British economic law, giving trade and confidential information to the notorious Jeffrey Epstein. And we're not even going to touch that.
Well, we'll do another show on that one.
Yeah, well, yeah. But this week
But you
it's
know
been a
what's
lot
part
of
of this, Mark?
change.
A lot of
Yeah.
change, but let's talk about this because the question comes up, is there something to fear in the fire horse? And the answer is no. And many of the people that are out there, especially people, from China or Chinese descent, are saying, no, this is a self-paradoxical year. Now, why do I say that? Okay, you ready? Now, Jessica's going to have to fact check me on this, but I know she's been watching the Olympics. I read a pop-up where two men's curling teams were cheating. Is that even true in the Olympics? Now, why am I
Yeah.
bringing it up? Jessica's going to have to fact check that. But why am I bringing it up? It's the self-paradoxical nature of this. Here you have one of the most publicized sports events in the world. My soccer friends would say that's not true, but they really would. But here we are, and it can bring extreme success. Yes, women's hockey team, and my Canadian friends, so sorry. Career change, progression, but things like cheating in curling, I don't even understand that. I mean, do you see what I'm saying? How like you scratch your head?
Well, I'm probably going to get torpedoed on this one, but for me, curling is like watching paint drying.
Oh no, we love curling. Oh my gosh,
It's like I'm
Jessica
watching
from
that. Like when I
ah,
watch the skating and the skiing and all these, incredible, and I realize that curling, there's a lot of intense skill there. But I mean, I'm watching it. I was watching it today and on a break when I was working on some stuff, and I actually fell asleep on it. And I was like, uh-oh, uh-oh. But yeah, I heard that there were allegations that there was some cheating going on. And here's
I
the
don't.
thing.
How do you even do that? I don't even
How do
understand
you
that.
cheat at curling? Do you like throw salt crystals in front of her? I mean, what do you do to cheat at curling?
But see, that's the nature of the fire horse, though, isn't it? Right? You're on this one of the stage's largest, what's the word? Media event, right? Every country pretty much around there is doing it. Um, But here's the thing. It's extremely challenging for some if one burns out, hello, or succumbs to, and I'm getting a dose of this personally, anxiety, because if you do that, it's going to lead to failure. So what's the opposite of that? You got to harness that fire horse energy. You've just got to harness it. And it's beautiful when you think about it. I mean, parallel to the Vietnam War in the last fire horse event, going through the roof, and the riots, which I was part of in Plainfield, New Jersey. I mean, I remember this. I didn't know anything about the fire horse thing, but I remember that year really, really well. And while it was overshadowed with greatness too, Mark, I mean, think about the musicians, the artists, Bob
Oh my
Dylan,
God.
people that came out of there.
I mean, 1966. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Dylan, the Beatles. I mean, I think they put out Rubber Soul and Revolver that year. Those are two iconic albums that changed the direction of music history. And so you had the backdrop to that. You had the Vietnam War, which was just horrible for what everybody involved, our troops, the people of Vietnam, everyone was going through, and then the turmoil and the upset that it caused, and yet there was this incredible creative revolution happening, and in some ways maybe that's what's going on now. I mean, there's a lot of turmoil right now going on in the world. There's wars going on. And creativity is with the Super Bowl with Bad Bunny and all that. People are either loving it or hating it. But the thing is, everyone's talking about it. And what gets me is, think about the Patriots and the Seahawks. Those teams, they put everything they had into it, and no one is talking about, oh, did you see that?
Not an announcer, not Tom Brady. Everybody's like, no, that's not. They're talking about everybody. But here we are. Look, do you know what else we can get excited about? You know what I'm looking forward to? You know what else happened in 66? Hello. Motown. Motown. Now, Motown had been doing really well, but who comes out of the gate in the Motown? And I do know this. They come out of the gate in the Motown, and it is the Supremes with 3 #1 hits, and I wish we could play them. You Can't Hurry Love, You Keep Me Hanging On, and I Hear a Symphony is one of my all-time songs. But, think about that. They struggle, and here they come with Supremes A Go-Go. My God. But see, this is the interesting thing about the Fire Horse. We can enter this year with fear and anxiety, or we can enter it like Diana Ross, who, by the way, came back and was at the New Year's dropping of the big ball.
Yes, she was. She is a force of nature. Hey, everybody, this is a call-in show tonight, 1-800-930-2819. Dr. Pat and I will be taking your calls. And once again, 1-800-930-2819. I'll be honored to connect callers with their loved ones in spirit. And, the beauty of this show is I'll make connections, and then Dr. Pat helps people understand the intricacies, the metaphors, and the deep significance of what these messages mean. There is, we say in the opening, there's no show like The Psychic and the Doc, and there really isn't. I mean, there's nothing like this. And also, you're not going to get two people with the credentials and the experience that we have. And that is the beauty and the healing power of The Psychic and the Doc. Now, I do have an event coming up in March on the 21st. It's an online light circle. And light circles are limited to 6 people. We do it by Zoom. And everybody gets a reading and connections. And there's a synergistic effect of all 6 people, because their spirits, your spirits, will start working with other people's spirits. It's really an amazing, amazing phenomenon. So you can find out about that by visiting my website, which is afterlifefrequency.com. And please sign up for my newsletter. We got one going out tomorrow. We'll get you up to date on everything that's happening. So Dr. Pat, what is going on? I know Transformation Network is transforming and expanding. Tell everybody about that.
I think for me, something about, let's just talk about the energy of the wood snake in comparison. Okay. This was the year for a lot of people, and people talk about shedding, but it wasn't the fire snake. It was the wood snake. And it was this year of slogging along. You ever hear that term? That is like a Bronx, New York term.
Slogging along. And you already,
God,
whether you understand
that has got to be from one of my Bronx.
But you immediately know what it means. Slogging along. You're like, go through the funk and the gunk.
It's like running in mud. And, part of the conversation is that's the way it felt. And in a lot of senses, a lot of things had to peel away. They had to go. And that was our journey last year. But the movement of that, because the snake is incredible, it just sheds its skin. And when it does that, you better be ready for the new skin opportunities in front of you. And that was our journey last year. But we did have several milestones. I call it, we finished phase 1. I'm looking at what phase 2 and 3 is going to be here in the next 3 to 6 months for us. But it was always important to build a technology mark where we can do a show like this on Transformation TTR Network. And yet, right side by side on the Wellness Channel will be another live show going on. And that's the technology we built. That's what we prepared for. It's kind of incredible. And putting up a podcast channel, that's what's coming up in a little bit. Now, let me just be clear. I've been podcasting since 2003, but when I say a podcast channel, you'll think about us as the place to come for all things human potential. What that means is you can go to other places and listen to talk.
Right.
But this is the place where you can come, you can grow, you can laugh, you can do a whole bunch of things. Because, by the way, on this show, Mark, we have fun. I'm just saying. Now,
yeah,
look,
we do.
I got to tell you, did you know this? Did you know this? Rocky, I think, knows this. Did you know that history in 1966, the Supremes was the first female group to top the U.S. charts?
Really?
That's what I read.
Well, that makes sense, though. That makes
Doesn't
sense
it?
because, well, think about it, though. What female group, well, I mean, there were female groups before that, okay? But the the Supremes weren't just a female group. They were a super
No.
group. They were a super group. I mean,
And let's not forget Holland Dozier Holland. They wrote all the songs. Holland Dozier Holland wrote all the songs. When you go get that Motown, the original blue, I got the original blue Motown album, and you go look at that blue and the Motown, Holland Dozier Holland, 3 guys, Holland Dozier Holland, wrote all them songs. And they found amazing women to sing them like it was nobody's business. But it was an interesting year. So what if we just played with that a little bit? If we played with that. See, we're already seeing signs. The loss of Robert Duvall. I mean, I loved him in Jack Reacher. So that put him in a Jack Reacher there with Tom Cruise.
Yeah. And, the thing about Robert Duvall, yes, he was 95. That is, you couldn't have a more dynamic career. But still, it's sad because a chapter is closing. Okay. And every role I ever saw him in, he became that character.
Yeah.
He was immersed in it. There's some actors, and they're very good actors, but they basically play the same character every time. Okay, not Duvall. Whatever character he was given, he became that. Jesse Jackson, dynamic speaker. I mean, incredibly dynamic speaker. First credible black candidate to run for president. He took 2 shots at it. He garnered a lot of support. And he was the conscience of not just one generation, but I think several generations. And I think that his words, his actions will live on. He carried on the legacy of. I mean, Dr. Martin Luther King is a tough act to follow, no matter what.
But Jesse, man,
Jesse,
he could talk. If you ever heard any of his. It's like oratory. It's not even like a talk. I don't have the right word for it. You know what I'm saying? When you heard him, you stopped. I mean, you stopped. Now, a lot of actors like mimic him and like copy him, and they, Jesse Jackson thing. But when somebody like that emerges, and there were so many other things that happened. See, I'm looking forward to this year. So let's talk about what is true and what doesn't have to be true, if we could. If we go into this with the fear thing, By the way, we should have really been afraid of the wood snake last year. But if we go in to this with fear, we lose sight of the energy of fire and the power of horse. You know that.
Yeah.
You know, people are saying, experts, that this is expected to be a very interesting, intense, fast-paced personal goal year. Personal for me, after the slugging along in 2025 for me, hello, I can't wait. Now, how are you feeling about that? I mean, but it's also a cautionary tale. It's slow down before making big decisions. You know, stay grounded, cultivate that emotional steadiness. And believe me, there's nothing steady about the fire signs. I know, I'm a quadruple.
Yeah.
But I have 4 planets in Capricorn. So part of this is, how do we navigate the momentum, Mark?
That's a good question. How do we navigate the momentum? And I think you gave us the answer is slow down before you make the decision. Because there are times in life where you have to act in the blink of an eye. You have to react in the blink of an eye. But when it comes to making important decisions, you've got to sleep on it. You've got to contemplate it. You got to make your list of pros and cons. You've got to analyze it instead of just, impulsive. I mean, how many times do people impulsively buy something and then they have buyer's remorse? Okay. Or they're like, why did I do that? Or jumping into a relationship. Okay. Ooh, it was a great one night stand. Let's spend forever together. What was that movie? It was about Tommy Lee and what's her name? The one that was in Baywatch. Oh my God.
Pamela Anderson?
Pamela Anderson.
Pamela,
yeah. There was a movie about them, and it showed how they met. And that's exactly what it was. It was one weekend of wild and crazy sex, and the next thing you know, they got married, and oh my God, we have nothing in common. And there's a lot of people who do things like that. They jump into a relationship. And I'm not saying, don't take a chance in life, but before you commit to another person, you've got to spend some time getting to know each other, and not just on vacation. It's like when people go to Europe, they go, oh, I love Europe. I'd like to live in Europe. It's like, well, I've spent a lot of time in Europe, and I lived there a couple times, at different points in my life. Let me tell you something, the taxes, the expenses, the things we take for granted in America that are convenient, everything's a hassle there. Parking's a hassle. They tax you to death. In Britain, a gallon of gas is about $10. I mean, it's just, people say, oh, they have these wonderful little refrigerators. Well, yeah, because they tax you on BTU usage, and you can't afford to fill up a big, American style refrigerator and all those things. And certainly there's a lot of incredible things about living in Europe and the culture and the food and the attitudes. But, you don't live somewhere or move somewhere based on how much fun you had on a vacation. Because because life is not a vacation. I mean, I know it's been said that when you do what you love to do, for a job, every day is like being on vacation. I mean, that is a saying. Every job has its pluses and its minuses. But if you can spend your time engaged in a profession or a craft or a job that you really enjoy, it's a lot better than when you wake up in the morning, the first thing that comes in your mind is, ugh.
You know what kept me going in my corporate career?
What?
Ping pong and softball. And I'm not kidding. I mean, I look back at those years and I thought about the community that the old AT&T and Bell Labs formed. Now, they are not the companies they are today. They were the old, stable job for life, which we know was not true, but still, it was that environment. And the people that worked together there, they were a community. So we had softball leagues after work and da-da-da. And then I would go up to the 5th floor in the boiler room area where they pulled out a ping pong table. And I play ping pong up there and then go back to my office like a dead rats. But part of this is, and I want to say this about the year of the fire horse. Please do your own research on this. I want to tell you why. Because it isn't just about the year of the fire horse. And I'm going to give you an example. My best friend is a triple Virgo. My best friend was not born under a fire sign. I happen to be born under the year of the tiger, which is another thing. But the bottom line is, when you're born of the year of the ox, like my best friend was born the year of the ox. The ox is one of the most stable and tried true Chinese zodiac signs you find. And what some people are saying is, kind of look at that. You will either clash or you will support each other. Because if you're around a real fire sign in a fire year, you're either going to have to wear seat belts or something every day of your life. But if your best friend was born in the year of the ox, that brings stability. That brings common sense. That stops you. You want to know what fire signs do?
What?
I had a house. Okay. This fire sign. So Linda and I had this house, and we were renting a house, and it had a room. And I used to like to shoot pool. I have a very interesting background, Mark. Okay. And so I would like to shoot pool. So we got the house, and I thought, I'm going to go get a pool table. So we go shopping for the pool table. And there's the pool table. And Linda's dad is there, the whole thing. And I shopping for the pool table. And I look at this one pool table and I say, oh my God, it's beautiful. And I said, it's not going to fit in the room. I said, oh yeah, it's fit in the room. I said, I'm not going to fit in the room. Yeah, it's going to fit in the room. Buy the pool table, fits in the room, but you can't play because the pool sticks are hitting up against the wall.
Oops.
And that's what the year of the fire horse is telling people, is you have to just look.
Yeah.
But don't look at things as clashes. We need to welcome the clashes between differences. And that is something we've not been very good at. But this is the year, and one of the most anticipated and signs that is to be most infected by the fire horse includes the rabbit and the ox, those two. So now that I'm mindful of that, I'm going to be mindful not to be like totally off the rails. I'm going to be like a little bit like, think before you buy the pool table now.
Yeah, I've seen what you just described. I know so many people that bought pool tables and then they move them into these rooms.
Oh my God.
Pool tables need a really big, because then they're sawing the pool sticks down for certain shots, so you can get, to shoot pool, you need a regular sized pool stick. You don't need a billy club sized pool stick. So everyone out there, if you're going to buy a pool table, and they're great to have, make sure you got a huge room to put it in.
Yeah. Now, here's a great example of the two opposite ends of the stick signs working together. My best friend needed to come back to her home after spending a year out in Seattle or more, I don't know how long, helping with the company and helping both Jessica and I do things, right? So she packs up from sunny New Jersey and comes out there to very not sunny Seattle, people. Okay, it's a beautiful place, but I'm telling you, don't buy the whole sunshine thing because it is rainy and cloudy. Except now that I've moved, they tell me the weather's good. But here's what happens. See, if I would have been anything but a fire sign, I would have had to contemplate my navel as to whether I was going to pack up all my stuff and move to support my best friend, but I'm not. I'm a fire sign. And Jessica will tell you, and Jessica, by the way, jumped into, when I made that decision, I just jumped into gear, packed everything up, and that move went like clockwork. So we have to be really mindful now as we move forward, not to take on the energy of fear and anxiety. but let's take on the energy of opportunity. And by the way, let's take a short break, everyone. When we come back, more with the Psychic and the Doc. Boom, 1-800-930-2819. And if you really want to know more about it, you can always Google this. Takeaway before break, you got to drink a lot more water. We'll be right back.
I'm Mark Anthony, author of The Afterlife Frequency. But don't expect a dry treatise. This book educates, entertains, and reads like a juicy novel.
Joining us today is psychic lawyer Mark Anthony. Mark, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I don't think there's another person on the planet anywhere who shares this guy's resume.
He's been on Coast to Coast, the radio show with me for years. He's a psychic lawyer, but he's the real deal.
This book also provides hope in coping with grief, crime, murder, PTSD, and survivor's guilt. The Afterlife Frequency teaches you my 4-step raft technique. Recognize spirit contact, accept it as real, feel it without fear, and trust the message.
Hey, everybody. Oh, my goodness. We have got talk radio for all of us.
Really, thank you for blazing the trail for women in talk radio and just being such an inspiration to me and so many other people. What you're doing is so awesome. And, you know, without people like you there to like really step out of the box and go for it, I don't know if someone like me would have ever ended up here, but I'm so happy to be here. And yeah, I just want to thank you for everything you're doing. You're one of my major inspirations.
I'm Tristan, a shaman, astrologer, and human design reader. I help unravel spiritual ideas to create change and growth in your life. Whether you are just beginning or need a knowledgeable best friend with the next phase of your journey, I'm here to help. Think of me as your pragmatic shaman bestie. I work with high-vibe, lovely people like yourself in personalized sessions that will leave you with a sense of clarity that energizes you to make impactful change. Connect with me, your pragmatic shaman bestie, at musingsandmodalities.com.
Vicki Todd is a memoir artist and sculptor whose female nude figures have been featured in juried group and solo shows in New Mexico and beyond. She is also a playwright and performed a one-woman show called Shine Happy Shine and recently wrote a second play, Does This Make Me Delusional?, which she hopes will hit the stage in the near future. You can view Vicki's artwork and one-woman show at VickiWorldArt.com. That's VickiWorldArt.com.
Do you want to become a host? Start your own podcast to inspire, persuade, and influence others on what you're passionate about? At the Transformation Network, we can help make your talk radio dreams happen. Let's take your hopes, dreams, and passions and put them on air today. Email us at host@transformationtalkradio.com to learn more about becoming a host of your very own show.
Hey, everybody, it's great to have you. Psychic in the Doc. We are taking your calls, 1-800-930-2819. And if you're having a hard time getting in, go over to ttrnetwork.com and you can write in the chat, and Jessica will pay attention to that. But during the break, we were having a fun time. We were talking about 1966. Why? That was the last year. So here's a great way to look at this. And my Chinese friend experts are probably listening to the show because they gave me some tips on what to say about the Chinese New Year. I spend most of my life around Chinese people, whether you know it or not. I really do, because of the sport I play, right? Okay. Here's the thing. The top 100 songs in 66 portrays the dynamic nature and contrast of the fire horse.
It does. It does.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
Think about the songs.
Yeah, I know you were talking about the Stones, we were talking about the Supremes, but also John Lennon wrote In My Life, which I believe was on Rubber Soul. And it's all about, there are places I remember, some have gone, some remain. I mean, In My Life is a very, very beautiful song, but in a way, a very sad song.
Yeah.
But it also, that was the last year of the Fire Horse. And once again, like what we were talking about, there was a lot of social turmoil going on. But out of that turmoil came an incredible amount of creativity. And that seems to be a general theme throughout history. Turmoil breeds creativity. I mean, everybody, every sane person on the planet wants peace. I mean, that's really what everybody wants. You want peace. Right now, there's threats that the U.S. is going to attack Iran and all this and that. And it's like, is it ever going to end?
I don't know. I'll tell you, I was a teeny teenager in 66. And I will tell you, I grew up with a mom from the South, a beautiful mom. My dad stole her right from the cradle. I'm just saying, right out of the cradle. And beautiful woman, deep South, first child at 12 years old, second child at 13, because that's what you did in the South. But she was a fireball. My mom was... Okay, girls, we're going downtown now. So we go downtown. So what are we going to do downtown? We go downtown and Winter Street with thousands of people of color because we're marching. I didn't know it was marching, but we're down there and my mom is down there and she's puffing on that cigarette. I'm not saying to do that, folks, because that did not work out very well for her. But I'm just saying that's what happened. And this is the kind of cool thing. This beautiful blonde, blue-eyed, red nails, red lipstick, dragging 3 girls down the streets. This is what's going on. And this is what we need to embrace. Yep. We need to really look at this year as immense. Now, having said that, let's go to the phones, Jessica. Because Along Comes Mary, but I don't think this is Mary. That was the 66 song.
Yeah, that was Along Comes Mary.
Oh my God, don't let me, I don't want to sing. Jessica's going to have to cut that out.
And so then we'll do Along Comes Tammy calling from Connecticut. Hi, Tammy. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Tammy.
Hi, how you doing? Hi,
good.
Mark.
How can we help you tonight?
I wanted to know if any of my loved ones have any messages for me.
Hold on. Let's see who wants to come through. All right, getting a female energy connected to you. She could be on the parent or grandparent level, but I feel possibly the parent level. So that could be a mom or an aunt or some type of female mentor. Now, what I'm getting with her is this incredible pain in my throat, burning sensation, like I feel tonsils burning. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean tonsil issues, but issues with her throat now. That pain is moving into her chest and her breasts. See, spirits, one of the first things usually give me are symptoms and sensations connected to their passing. Also getting a nauseated sensation. Nausea indicates difficulty eating and or holding down food prior to passing. Sometimes nausea is a cancer indicator. Now my teeth hurt. This poor lady, she was having issues in her mouth, gums, teeth, throat, chest, and especially in her breasts, and then the nauseated sensation. Rapid pulse, rapid pulmonary, like prior to passing. That's unusual. I mean, it's just I'm getting this really high and erratic heartbeat in addition to all of these, and now getting this sharp pain in my right, or which would be her right shoulder as well. So she had a lot of pain and issues going on. Does any of this resonate with you, Tammy?
Yes, it's my sister, Cindy.
Okay. So let's get Cindy to come in. All right. What she's doing is, think of all these pains as being like a giant piece of cellophane wrapped all over you, and she's pulling it like right off her. So she wants you to know that she calls it the cellophane of pain. And the interesting thing that she's bringing up, Tammy, is she's talking about pain. She's talking about our physical human bodies are like a piece of cellophane that's wrapped around what we really are. And when she transitioned, all that pain got left behind. So she's very happy that you're making contact with her. Now, she's showing me an astrological time frame, which is Cancer. Cancer runs roughly from June 20th to July 20th. You said right. In what way right?
Cancer runs in my family on my dad's side. And unfortunately, most of my brothers had it, and she ended up getting it too.
Okay. So yeah, Cancer can mean the astrological time frame, or it can also mean the disease. Hold on. She said, when the chips are down and you feel blue, you've got to sing. You've got to sing. That's interesting. Do you sing a lot, Tammy?
Yeah.
She's talking about you singing. When the chips are down and you feel blue, you got to sing. You got to sing.
Yeah.
Yeah. She likes it when you sing because she hears this, and she's talking about the 1, 2, 3, 4 candles. The 4 candles. Fascinating. Do you burn a lot of candles, or could there be 4 people of significance connected to you that might be in spirit?
My brothers and I did used to light candles a couple years ago when I would be cleaning the house.
Okay. Hey, they're talking about you up on a ladder going like into the attic. Now, it could be a ladder, it could be like, when you get an attic access and you pull down the ladder, but they show you, they're showing, projecting to me an image of you like trying to get access to an attic, and I'm getting like this, be careful, be careful, be careful. What's going on? Did you try to get in the attic, or is there something you need to get out of the attic? This could be some metaphor,
No.
but I mean, no, in what way no?
I never been on a ladder to go up in the attic.
Okay, so this could be a metaphor, getting something. This sounds like a job for Dr. Pat. All right, Dr. Pat, what would the metaphor be for accessing the attic? And they're saying, be careful, be careful. It's almost like danger, danger, Tammy. I mean, be careful about accessing this attic.
Thank you, Mark. Tammy, it can mean a couple of different things. Let me give you a couple of different versions of what attics have come to mean. For a lot of people, the attic is a great safe place. It's the place where otherwise, people in a home would not have a place to store things like holiday decorations, things like that. You also see the attic used in a lot of the Hallmark movies, if I may say, where in their attics they find things of their family, things that are important, right? Now, modern movie making makes attics a little less pleasant, but generally speaking, movies about attics, the feeling about attics, it gives you this homey feeling. So it's interesting Mark brought that up, because my sense is, and please tell me if I'm wrong, you feel sort of out of home for a minute. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right? Like a little lonely. Are you a little lonely?
No, I'm fine.
You got to convince me of that. What'd you say? You said you'll be fine?
Yeah, I'm not lonely.
Okay. So you don't have an attic and you don't go up in an attic, correct? So my question
what I
really
have
is,
I
okay,
have
go ahead.
a third floor where I store myself. I mean, store stuff up there on the third floor for storage space.
Bingo. Bingo.
There it is.
Come on. Yeah, it is. So
Yeah.
what do you think you need to do with that now? That space up there with the storage?
Probably clear part of the stuff out up there. See what's up there.
It's interesting, isn't it? You see, I don't have a lot of family attic things. I don't come from that family, that kind of family, but my best friend does. And I've had the experience recently of taking that journey with her as she rediscovers things she hadn't looked at in a really long time, reconnecting with the
Yes,
loved
that's me.
ones. That's you. So do you think maybe this is a time to do a little happy reconnecting?
Yeah.
That's what I think. You know, sometimes there are so many things that are precious to us, hopefully not people,
Right.
that we store in the attic. This
Sorry.
is not.
Pat, you watch too many scary movies.
This is not the movie Psycho.
Like Jane Eyre.
It's not Psycho. But what I'm trying to say is, I really feel, especially this year, the fire horse, it is just this time to emotionally reconnect with things. So I hope that resonates with you.
It does.
Awesome. Can't wait to hear how you make out up in that third floor. That
Just
pseudo attic.
Real quick question. To get to the third floor, obviously there's some type of stairway. Is
Yes.
it narrow? Is it a little steep? There's something about that where they're saying like danger, danger,
Yeah.
be careful. And if you're going to start
Is it
clearing
just,
stuff
first?
out, I'm sorry, hold on, let me finish.
Is it-
You got to be,
Okay.
feel free to all right, never mind. All right,
Yeah.
go ahead. What were you going to say?
Yeah, tell us. How do you get up there? Do you need like a fire ladder thing, or how do you get up in
No,
that
it's
third
regular.
floor? Regular stairs.
It's a staircase. It's the stairs where you
Perfect.
go to the third floor.
Right. So what Mark is saying is extremely important. If you're drawn to go
Okay,
up there,
could it-
caution.
Okay, could it be my father-in-law? Because he was a firefighter. Telling me this.
That's interesting.
Because he
Well,
was
you
a
got to,
yeah,
you
because
have
he-
a,
Wow.
all
Wow.
right, Tammy, one thing. Try not to interrupt
Okay.
Dr. Pat or me, particularly when I'm working with spirits. And the reason for that,
Okay,
and I'm not
go ahead.
scolding you, like you're doing right now, don't say anything because that can cause me to lose the connection with the spirit. You said your father-in-law was a firefighter. Okay,
And you look
hold
at the
on.
example, Mark, that I used of the fire thing.
There you go. There
Wow.
you go. So see, yeah, we got him here. Did he die from some type of lung issue? Because the man that's communicating, the male spirit, I'm getting lung issues.
Yes.
Okay, so he's here too. And hold on. Now I'm hearing dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. All right, all right, great. All right, and we probably all have like Christmas ornaments and stuff up there. However, the interesting thing about Jingle Bells, it was originally written to be a Thanksgiving song, but it didn't work with Thanksgiving, so I guess, it stuck with Christmas. Now, most people like the holidays, but is there something about a Thanksgiving or the month of December other than just ho, 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 we like Christmas that leaps out at you in any way? It doesn't have to relate just to your father-in-law. It could relate to you in any other way.
My daughter's grandmother, and my daughter was also in a recital, and she was the little red, the reindeer in her dance group. My granddaughter.
Your granddaughter played a reindeer in her dance group?
Yes.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
So, woohoo! All right, so that means your spirits are around and they're aware of what's happening, not only in your life, but that of your grandchildren as well. Okay, and they said, don't be afraid to write letters. Don't be afraid to write letters. Is there someone you need to either email or write a letter or reach out to? They're telling you, don't be afraid. Don't hold back. Write those letters. Write those letters. And these are happy letters, not I hate you letters.
Okay. Not that I know of. Is it someone in the family?
You're going to get that in the attic. You're going to get what Mark just said. When you hit that attic, right? You're going to know who you have to write to.
Okay.
Right, Mark? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Dr. Pat, because here's the thing. As Dr. Pat was saying, the attic is, we're just calling your third floor the attic just to make it easy, but it
Okay.
also symbolizes your past. There's a lot of things from your past, and people compartmentalize their past. They store things in their memory or in their attic that are from the past. And when you're up there, you may start thinking about somebody who's still here on planet Earth that you haven't connected with in a while, and maybe you do need to send that email or write that letter. And it's a happy thing, like, hey, thinking of you, hope you're doing well, give me a call, that type of thing. So there's a reaching out. Also, they talk about you. This is interesting. We've been talking about music, and I'm hearing a Buddy Holly song. And the Buddy Holly song I'm hearing is "Think It Over," da, 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 da. And it's more of a piano song, which is a bit unusual for Buddy Holly. Think it over, we'll all be da, 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 da. So I think it over is the theme there, unless, somebody's named Buddy or Holly, or you really like Buddy Holly. But I mean, of all the songs, normally you think of it as more popular songs, but it's think it over, we'll all be da, 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 da. So think it over.
Could it be my father-in-law with his dog named named Buddy?
Bingo.
Yeah.
There you go.
Or in this case, Buddy. All right.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for calling in. And when you do go up to that third floor, make sure you're not tired. Make sure you don't tackle the whole thing at one time. Okay? Allow yourself to be there and be present, and don't stay longer than you want to. Got it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, thanks, Tammy.
All right, thank you. Thanks for calling in, Tammy. Arrivederci, Tammy. I don't know. Somebody wanted me to tell her arrivederci. So.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, so you mentioned something before. I got to get back to it.
Okay.
I went and looked something up because I remembered something really, really hard on me in 1966. I was a kid and I went to school in the Bronx, and I just got out of junior high school 101, and I got accepted into Christopher Columbus as first viola in the orchestra and first viola in the city orchestra. Now, I didn't know this was the year, but this was the year of that crazy New York City transit strike. And I remember, this is what I remember about this. It didn't last very long. It was in the winter, though, and I couldn't get to school. And so why am I saying that? Because here was a high point in my life that I would have been better off being an Olympic cross-country skier. But see, this is the energy we're talking about. We're talking about a change in 66 between our government. We went from a highly democratic focus to Ronald Reagan showing up. We went from Batman. Who thought of that? We went from different things that we looked at in terms of allowing the Chicago Bulls. And I still think that was like in the NBA. But there were so many contrasts. You see, Mark, that's what we're talking about this. Don't be afraid of it.
Right.
Be observant. You have to be more in tune. I'm not saying to slow down, because I'm not planning to slow down, but I'm planning to think. What's your message for the Fire Horse people, or if you're Linda the Ox person?
I think that the Fire Horse is entering this year in a blaze of fire and glory, but it's more than fire and glory. The fire also represents things we're afraid of, things that we feel are going to singe us, things that are going to wipe out the past, yet paint the way to the future. So realize that there's going to be changes, and there's always changes in everybody's life. The world is not stagnant, but it's even more pronounced now. So instead of being afraid, be brave and confront the change, and realize with the fire horse, if you're on the back of that fire horse, you may be going through fire, but you're going to get through it. So realize, stay true to your principles, to who you are. Realize there's going to be change. A lot of it's going to be difficult, but you will emerge from it. That's what I get from the Year of the Fire Horse.
And I want to leave you all with something else. Well, I talk a lot about Sinead O'Connor and how no one ever gave her a major apology for what went down in the Catholic Church, and still to this day. But one of the more controversial statements ever made by a singer happened in 1966. Believe it or not, it was John Lennon. And John Lennon tried to walk this back, but he could not. His lasting comments were, in March, because we're getting ready to come up on March, so I just want to say, get ready, everybody. We're more popular than Jesus now.
Yeah, he really
Thank you, John.
He really put his foot in his mouth on that one. And, you know, what happened was he was talking to a reporter who said, all this is off the record. And he said that, and of course, nothing with a reporter is ever off the record. And that's what hit the news. And, well, you know, what was he, 24, maybe 25? And, I mean, come on. It
was John Lennon.
It was John Lennon, but they went from playing bars in Liverpool to suddenly becoming the biggest group in the world. And it was a lot to handle. And I'm not making excuses, but that was a really bad thing to say. And he apologized for it pretty much for the rest of his life. And that's for everybody. When you get that sudden success or you're the focal point, always be humble. A wise man is humble like the dust. That's an ancient Chinese proverb, since we're talking about the Year of the Fire Horse.
Yep. And let's hold on to this. Mark and I are very clear that this is going to be a year of immense innovation. In 1966, an artificial heart was installed in the chest of Marcel de Roudier in Houston. So think about this. Think about the great discoveries that you could make in your life. And know that here, both Mark and I, we're going to be right there with you. Mark, give out your website one more time, please.
Absolutely. It's afterlifefrequency.com. I invite all of you to visit afterlifefrequency.com. Go ahead and sign up for my newsletter. We try not to send too many out to drive you crazy, but it will keep you up to date on everything I've got coming up. Because on March 21st, I have an online light circle. There's only a couple tickets left. Everybody will receive a reading. And the newsletter will keep you up to date on everything we're doing. Plus, every week, we're going to be back here with the Psychic and the Doc. And Dr. Pat and I will be back next Thursday here on the Psychic and the Doc.
Okay, that's...
Hey, everybody, thank you for tuning into the Psychic and the Doc with Mark Anthony and me, Dr. Pat Basili, here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Hey, look, come back next week so we can explore with you more of life's many challenges and learn from fascinating guests. And you know what? Even Mark and me. We'll connect you and discover insights from people in this life and from the afterlife. Extraordinary problems? Yeah, they do. They require extraordinary solutions. But step into the world of possibilities with us on the Psychic and the Doc. That's every Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. That's TransformationTalkRadio.com. And don't forget, we're also live face-to-face on Facebook.com. Transformation Talk Radio.